Hello everybody, in today's video we're going to be going over a warmer pattern which is going to be taking over the western half of the country and a colder one which is going to be impacting the eastern half of the country. We're going to be going over all of that and more in today's video, as well as your drought outlook in today's video. So we're going to be going over a lot of information, so make sure you are staying tuned all the way until the end. Taking a look at the current National Weather Service page, you can see that we have some red flag warnings in effect for parts of Idaho and Montana, as well as some excessive heat warnings in the purple color for parts of Arizona, California, Nevada, Utah, Idaho, and Oregon. We have heat advisories also scattered throughout the west. We have a few flood watches also into parts of upstate New York and southern Vermont. But other than that, we don't have many other watches or warnings currently in effect. Yesterday, we had a high temperature in Death Valley, California of 129 degrees Fahrenheit, with a low temperature in Peter Sinks, Utah, where they got down to 22 degrees Fahrenheit. The highest rainfall report was in Chariton, Iowa, where they got 4 inches of reported rainfall, and there were no snowfall reports yesterday. Taking a look at the temperature anomaly map from the European model, this is basically just showing you how far above or below normal the temperatures are expected to be. An example of the below normal temperatures would be the blue and the green colors in the central U.S. on this frame, and a warmer than normal pattern or outlook would look like this in the western United States, where we have the orange and red colors. So the orange and red is symbolizing warmer than normal temperatures. The blues and greens and purples are signifying colder than normal temperatures. So this will be for tomorrow. You can see how much of southern Canada and also into the western half of the country we're dealing with above normal or warmer than normal temperatures, and then into the eastern 2/3 of the U.S. we're dealing with below normal or colder than normal temperatures. Along the east coast we have a little bit of both. We have a few pockets of warmer than normal, a few pockets of colder than normal, but overall it's going to be fairly close to average. If we look at the expected temperature anomalies for Tuesday, you can see the warm air is starting to push in a little bit further to the east, starting to warm up even more along the west coast, and then we're dealing with even colder temperatures in through the central plains, and then also into the eastern half of the country as well. So we're dealing with colder temperatures still lingering in for the east and warmer temperatures for the west. If we take a look at Wednesday, everything starts to kind of moderate out, so we're not dealing with huge pockets of well above normal or well below normal temperatures, but overall it's a little bit closer to normal. We're still averaging a couple degrees below normal in the central part of the country, and then also into the eastern third of the U.S., and the western third of the country is also dealing with above normal temperatures. We have really warm temperatures in the western 2/3 of Canada as well. So we're dealing with fairly warm temperatures for Canada and also the west, and then we're dealing with warmer or colder temperatures for parts of the central and eastern parts of the U.S. Taking a look at Friday of this upcoming week, you can see that we have warmer temperatures really taking effect in central Canada. But the warmer temperatures, or actually the colder temperatures, are really making their presence known, especially in through the west and also the central U.S. We're dealing with colder temperatures out through the west coast, so something that's definitely really changed. We've seen this high pressure move from being over the southwest to now being into central Canada, and that's the reason that we saw all those warmer temperatures move over a little bit. We're now dealing with a little bit of a trough both into the Great Lakes and also another one in through parts of the northwest and the west in general. So we did see a little bit of a pattern change, even a little bit of a mild pattern in parts of the northeast and the northern plains, but the rest of the country is looking at some chillier or colder than normal temperatures for later this week. Looking at Saturday, not a lot has changed, except this warm air is now starting to build in a little bit more into the northern Rockies and the northern plains. Still quite chilly for much of the country. And then looking at Sunday of this upcoming week, we see that the colder temperatures out west are starting to kind of break off a little bit, and it's starting to actually amplify a little bit more in through the eastern half of the country, with warmer than normal temperatures still in central and eastern Canada, as well as parts of the northern plains and the northern Rockies as well. Taking a look at why this is happening, we're going to take a look at 3 frames from this week. This is going to be from Monday night, and this is the upper air setup. You can see that we have a high pressure in effect for parts of the southwest, and then another one off the shore of the east coast, and then we have a trough right in the middle. So what that's doing is bringing colder temperatures for the central part of the country, and then along the east coast and the west coast, we're dealing with warmer temperatures. You can also see a little bit of colder air up into central Canada. So this entire central column right here is going to be a little bit chillier than normal for Monday into Tuesday. If we take a look at another frame, this would be from Thursday of this week. So just another 2 days after that last image that I showed you, the pattern is pretty much completely different. We have this high pressure a little bit closer to the east coast, but it's a little bit weaker as well. So it's not having as much of an impact in these areas. You can see that we have a little bit of a shortwave trough in through parts of the northern plains, and then we have another high pressure in through the southwest with another trough in the northwest. So what that's doing is bringing in some warmer temperatures along the southwest, colder temperatures in through the northwest and western Canada, as well as more cold temperatures into central Canada and the central plains, with warmer temperatures into the eastern part of the country. If we take a look at the last frame, which would be for Friday, you can see this is a much different image than what we were just looking at. We have no more evidence of a high pressure. If you were to find one, it would just be this broad high pressure, which is just kind of moving through parts of the east coast and the southeast, and even down into parts of the southern plains in Mexico. So it's a very broad high pressure, really not having too profound of an impact. The bigger players into this is a weak area of low pressure, which is down here, and that's linked up by a trough which is in through the central part of the country. We have a bigger area of low pressure which is about to move on to British Columbia by this point. That's bringing in more cold air for the west and the central plains. It's also going to be a little bit chilly even if you live in the east coast. Even though they're in that orange shade, they are still in a trough pattern, so they are still in a trough technically, and that should allow for at least near normal temperatures, or even a little bit colder than normal temperatures in those areas. If you want to look at the Climate Prediction Center's forecast, this is the 6 to 10 day outlook, which goes from Friday of this week in through Tuesday of next week, which would be from the 16th through the 20th. You can see they're expecting below normal temperatures through the southern tier of the country, and then through the northern and western part of the country, we're dealing with above normal or warmer than normal temperatures. That would be the 6 to 10 day outlook. If we look at the 8 to 14 day outlook, you can see that we have a colder than normal air mass in the southern United States, with warmer temperatures expected also for the northern and western part of the country as well. This would be from the 18th through the 24th. And if you want to look at the 3 to 4 week outlook, which goes from the 24th through August 6th, so already getting into the next month, you can see that we're expecting below normal temperatures in the southeast, and we're expecting above normal temperatures in parts of the northern half of the country. So generally, we're expecting this pattern to persist over the next few weeks. Colder for the southern United States, so for the southeast and the southern plains, which actually should be quite nice considering that we're not going to be in the 90s. It'll be a little bit chillier into the 80s, and maybe even a couple days where you get into the low 80s or even 70s in a few of these spots. So definitely should be nice and comfortable in these areas. It'll be a little bit less comfortable in parts of the west and the northern United States because we will be a little bit above normal over this next few weeks. Taking a look at the precipitation outlook, This is also from the Climate Prediction Center. This is the 6 to 10 day outlook, and you can see that we're expecting from the 16th through the 20th to be drier than normal in parts of the northern United States. And then if we look at the southeast and also the Tennessee Valley and then down through the southwest, we have some above normal rainfall expected. So we're expecting more rainfall than normal in these areas over the next couple of days. If we look at the 8 to 14 day outlook, pretty much nothing has changed here. We're still expecting some drier than normal conditions in the north and some wetter than normal conditions in the southern part of the country. Taking a look at the drought outlook, this is showing you where we're expecting the drought to improve or stay the same, or even to develop, or for some of that drought to actually be removed. So in that kind of greenish color, which you see is kind of splattered throughout the eastern United States, we're actually expecting some of that drought to be removed. So that's definitely a good sign. We had some minor drought issues in the eastern third of the country, so that will be going away. In that overwhelming area of deep brown, that's where we're dealing with a drought persisting, so we're not expecting really any changes within that area. And then in that yellow, that's where we're expecting drought development to be likely, and that's going to be again the area where it's going to be warmer than normal and also drier than normal over the next couple of weeks. We're not expecting too much rainfall, if any at all, in these areas, and this is one of the usually the most active areas of the country, especially the Pacific Northwest, where they're notorious for having a lot of rainfall. So it's really unusual to be seeing so much drought in these areas. And then we even see, which is a good sign, in parts of Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona, a little pocket in kind of a gray color where drought is going to remain, of course, because we have that extreme drought in that area, but at least it will improve. We're expecting actually a couple inches of rainfall in this area, so that is definitely a good sign. We're dealing with some of this drought being removed in some of these areas, so definitely we're kind of taking a couple steps forward here and kind of removing some of that drought that was really overtaking parts of the Southwest. So that is going to wrap it up for today's video. Please consider liking the video, subscribing, and turning on notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.